Are you considering making the move from Indianapolis to Evansville, Indiana? In this video, we're exploring the benefits of leaving behind the big city life and embracing the charms of Evansville. From lower cost of living to a more relaxed pace of life, we're counting down the top reasons why making the move to Evansville might be the best decision you'll ever make. Whether you're a young professional, a family, a retiree, Evansville has something to offer for everyone. So if you're tired of the hustle and bustle of Indianapolis or maybe another metro location and looking for a change of pace, keep watching to discover what makes Evansville the perfect place to call home. So join me, let's talk about and compare living in Indianapolis to Evansville, Indiana. And what better way to do that than one of our realtors of our own? We got Drew Grass here, how long did you live in Indianapolis?
I lived in Indianapolis for 9 years, since I was 18, and then I moved back when I was 28.
Okay, so he had a good time there, and now how long have you lived there?
Lived in Evansville for 2 years now. So it's been a long enough time to be able to tell you what the difference is, which living in Evansville is a lot slower than living in Indianapolis.
A lot of people are scared to death to leave the bigger city.
Yes, yeah.
So if you're looking to relocate, we're going to try to help give you some of the positives and the negatives, guys. So, and he's the man that's going to tell you, because he's truly lived in both. I can't say that because I dated my husband's from Indiana. That's about all I can tell you. I do go there.
Yeah. So I was truly a fan of moving back home. I mean, obviously I grew up here, but I had fun in Indianapolis, don't get me wrong. But whenever you come back to Evansville, like I said, it's a little slower pace of life, which I lived up there for 9 years, and it was like I blinked and 9 years was over. I've lived here for 2 years now, and I feel as if I've accomplished so much more in these 2 years than I did when I was up there. And it's just because it's a slower pace of life. You can enjoy stuff more. Just driving, for example. Like when I was up in Indianapolis, I mean, it was...
I don't do very well in any of the cities anymore.
I mean...
And don't get me wrong, Evansville's a city, but it is nothing like that traffic.
Yeah. So things like that. And then my biggest worry moving back here was, what am I going to do on a Friday night? And I was lucky enough to find a very, very small, tight-knit group of people through church, and we were able to go out and do things on Fridays. Like there's a big sports scene. I'm a huge sports fan, so there's a big sports scene in Evansville.
So, since you're talking about sports, let's compare that, because Indianapolis has a sports scene.
Yeah.
So does Evansville. What's those differences?
So obviously Indianapolis, you have your Pacers.
A lot more of that.
Yes. Yeah, that's what I was getting to, was those professional teams cost a lot more than just going to watch USI or University of Evansville or even the Thunderbolts. But those are high class. I mean, these are 2 D1 programs in USI and UE.
And a lot of people don't know that.
Yes.
D1 now. They definitely elevated up to it. So,
So, there is a sports scene. There's footprint there. So if you're a sports fan, it's a little bit of a drop off from the Colts, but it's something fun to do with family. On a Friday night.
They got baseball.
Yes,
as well.
They have baseball. And then, there's just a ton of things to do outside of the sports realm too. They have 2 massive event centers that host, country music stars like Luke Bryant, Luke Combs. So those typically happen a lot in the summer. So during the summer, like everywhere else, there's tons to do. There's a nice, really, really nice riverfront here in Evansville. Indianapolis, you have
what is it, the White, or what are they? I don't even know. They're like a little river.
Yeah. There's a canal. There's a canal.
Or the name of it.
Yeah, the White River. White River Canal downtown, which is great. If you go down there past dark, though, be careful. So again, and then when it stuff like that, just feeling safer in Evansville, Indiana. It's a smaller feel. It's a very tight knit community, and it's truly everybody knows everybody.
That is something that's very different, the communal feel. In Indianapolis, you get lost. You probably didn't completely even know who your neighbors were, did you?
No.
And then now I bet you know everybody that lives around you. You know all the people that work around you. You know everybody who at the church.
Yep.
And you may have went to all those activities or places in Indianapolis and really never connected.
Yeah. And Indianapolis is, has a ton of churches, but they're like mega churches. I mean, there's thousands and thousands of people there, which is great. But, here in Evansville, smaller, a little bit more personable. And it's just, you have such a better sense of community here. And when you feel like you belong somewhere, you're typically happier. So it's
Very true.
Yeah, so that's for me, those were the biggest difference culturally. It's been nothing but positives moving back down to Evansville. I was able to purchase my first investment property. So if you're looking for real estate,
He talks about cost of living.
Yes.
Let's talk about. I mean, we're kind of all over the board. We apologize for that. That's okay. That's that makes us more. So the cost of living, housing, obviously, is where we're focused, and that's what we do. We're realtors, obviously. But your cost of living is going to be similar probably in some areas of Indianapolis.
Yes.
Maybe the southern part or in the town. You get north of Indianapolis, there's a completely different ballgame.
Yeah, very, very pricey.
Yeah, very, very pricey, and we'll definitely have better pricing here than the southern.
Yeah.
Stuff. What about food and all that?
Food? Oh, well,
Going out to eat.
I mean, yeah. So, there's no shortage of food in Evansville. There's really not. There's there's a
capital. No.
Yeah. There is a ton of restaurants, which is great. You can do something different every night. While Indianapolis has your kind of like your really high-end restaurants, that's nice every now and then, but it gets pricey after a while.
Yeah.
So just for like a casual, meal, Evansville is a great place for that.
Yeah, I do have a lot of variety there.
Yeah.
From chains to even.
Yeah. So there's really
unique local.
Yeah, really no drop off there. And then just as like events, like I said, there's things going on every
What
weekend.
about like outdoor activities?
So you can hike. There's canoeing. I forgot exactly what those rivers are called, but there's tons of rivers within 30-minute drives that you can go and you can canoe on. And during the summer when it's warmer, you got a national forest, a couple of them real close within an hour of Evansville. So it's always something fun you can do. So there's tons of outdoor hiking as well that you can do. And then even within Evansville, there's, massive parks.
And how do you compare that to Indianapolis? What was up there?
So Indianapolis, you really had to get outside the city if you wanted to do something like that.
This is more in the city. You think?
Yes. Yeah. As far as like the parks and stuff, and even hiking, there's hiking's like within, maybe a 10-minute drive of downtown Evansville.
Where you're talking 30, 40 minutes.
Yeah. Indianapolis, you got to go, way out. So you're probably looking at like over an hour drive. So, it's comparable, but not really. It's just so much closer with Evansville. And
so there we covered social to some extent. You won't be lost. Don't be scared. You can leave the big lights.
Yep.
Evansville has new lights. Just smaller, maybe. And then we've talked about, what about the cost of living obviously is more reasonable as a whole, I would say, for sure. As he said, he bought his first house here, actually, right?
Yeah.
Versus up there. Also, what about jobs?
So that was
This is a little different.
That was a very unique. I was working from home. So technically, whenever I moved back down here, I was still working for the company that I was working for up in Carmel, Indiana. And they allowed me to work from home. So I moved back down here and I was working from home and I didn't really like it. And then they had a bank branch in downtown Evansville. So I actually started working from the bank branch in downtown Evansville. So I got to drive into downtown Evansville every day. And you could just see, while it's not as robust as Indianapolis, obviously.
Like that's the comparison right there.
Yeah.
Downtown.
Yeah.
That was a completely different vibe there and there.
Yeah. So it's not as robust, which that's gonna,
You're a downtown person. I mean, Indy might be.
Yes. Yeah. But there's still business and it's booming and Evansville's getting larger and larger.
And they have a lot of efforts going around.
Yes.
Downtown for sure.
Yeah. So you are going to see a drop off in jobs. That's just kind of natural though, given population. But I mean, there's so many good opportunities here. For example, I found a great real estate agency that, not to try to bring it back to that, but
realestate.com.
just finding like that kind of sense of community and a job up there in Indianapolis, it's different. You can't. It's hard. You're just a number. These massive corporations. While down here, it's a little bit more manufacturing based, and it's kind of more blue collar. So if that's your thing, if you like blue collar with a taste of white collar, Evansville is your place, and there's no shortage. I don't like people that say there's a shortage of jobs because there's not.
There's not. You can find jobs.
Yes.
Just go on Indeed. You can keep scrolling.
100%. So
we covered jobs. It's very communal. We kind of covered that, but I think that's one big difference to really highlight between the two areas.
Yes.
Because we're a lot less inside. I get that. But we do definitely have the amenities that you could find that you had up there here.
Yes.
So if you just want that smaller vibe and being able to make friends with your neighbors or people walking down the street waving at you, not to say they don't do that in Indianapolis, but they're definitely much more similar down here.
Yeah. And I mean,
so there we got community. What else have we forgot? Schools. We're not going to go into the because you didn't have any kids, and so you wouldn't be able to really talk to the elementary and all high schools and all that. Obviously, Indianapolis has good schools. Evansville has good schools, but let's talk about the universities because they both have universities and that kind of atmosphere, or even if you need that education. Both have actually great options for education. So I highlight the Evansville versus Indianapolis.
Universities. I went to IUPUI. It's now.
That's why I wanted to bring it up because I knew you went there.
It's now called IU Indianapolis. They dropped the Purdue, but it was amazing. It was right downtown Indianapolis. I used law schools there. I used dental schools there. So if you're looking to get into that, that's an option in Indianapolis. They had UIndy, which is right down the road. So great options in Indianapolis, but also in Evansville, UE. Which is, that's a mess. Like it is.
It's amazing. There's a lot of
highly acclaimed
to go there.
Yeah. So
depending on the specialty.
And then USI is getting bigger every year.
It is.
And then Oakland City. It's it's a smaller, but it's within 45-minute drive of Evansville. So
not very far. So there's a lot of great options from the higher education standpoint too. I did not want to miss between the two. So if that matters to you, or even the environment that you want to be around, a college environment, you got the education, you got the environment, you got sports to attend in either. Actually, you don't really have the sports for what you had in Indianapolis for the IU campus. They don't have that.
No.
You get it down here.
It's from a university standpoint, it's they're size-wise. They're kind of comparable. Like USI and IPY were about the same size. So, there's really no difference there. It's just, college is college. You're going to meet really fun college people. You're going to have a good time.
They both win here.
Yeah. I'd say that's a tie.
It's a tie. Okay. So what's the takeaway here? So you might have some adjustments, right?
Yes.
If you're moving from Indianapolis, if you're coming into Indiana as a whole, we're just trying to help you decide where to start your look. You might be looking in Indianapolis and didn't even know Evansville existed. So, we'd love you to reach out if you want to at least know what we're all about. But if you're moving from Indy to us, there's going to be some adjustments, but I think all positive. It can be definitely handled.
And Evansville has fantastic places to live, comparable to Indianapolis, like Newburgh or McCutcheonville. They're very nice areas.
Those are like your north side.
Yeah. So,
that's downtown like ours, just smaller.
So at
east side, you go up by Carmen by all the shopping. See, we have all our little pockets.
So at the end of the day, it's just finding the right neighborhood for you and finding your right group of people. In Evansville, you can do that very easily.
West side's Greenwood.
Yes. Oh, that's.
See, I can compare exactly if you're looking at the areas of Indy where you can look at Evansville. Well, if you are looking to relocate to our area, if you're coming into Indiana or coming down from Indianapolis, we would love to help. Reach out to us. So until next time, we'll see you then.
We open doors in realty. Key Associates.